Good almost Shabbos. It's cloudy outside and cold. And at this time each year, I realize that I took the sun for granted. And when it shines, even during the winter, I try to go out there and bask in it because the sun is amazing and healthy. And the Parsha this week, specifically the Kli Yakar, actually talks about the sun in a really interesting way. It's on the first line of the Parsha that Avraham was sitting at the entrance of the tent, Kechom Hayom, whether it's the sunniest part of the day, the hottest part of the day, the heat of the day. And I was always taught as a kid that it's really in praise of Avraham. He was looking for guests. And even though he had just had his bris milah 3 days earlier, he sacrifices everything and sits in the heat of the sun to look for guests. The Kli Yakar says something very different. He actually gives 3 explanations about why God visited Avraham, and it has to do with the sun. The first is that it says, Kichom Hayom. Avram sat like the heat of the sun. And he says, amazingly, Avram was like the sun. When he sat at the entrance of his tent, he shined with kindness like the sun. It's an incredible image of Avram just shining kindness, and all of us when we shine our kindness. The second reason he gives is also incredible. He says Avram was sitting in the sun to heal. He was in the sun getting healing. He actually took some initiative to heal himself. And there's an idea that when a person is sick, God's presence is with them. So God automatically comes to visit Avraham because Avraham is sick and taking the initiative to heal. It's something that you could say to someone who is going through an illness, that as you take your initiative to heal, God automatically comes and rests presence upon you. And then the last one is maybe even the most fascinating of all. The Kli Yakar says that if you contemplate the path of the sun and astronomy, you'll find God. He says that's how Avraham found God. And he would tell everybody, just contemplate on that. In fact, it says he had an amulet, this bling, that was a sun, a shining sun jewel on his chest that Avraham wore because he contemplated the sun. And so according to that idea, the reason God came and visited him was because he was sitting out contemplating the sun and the science that could only be created by an incredibly intelligent creator. Good Shabbos, everyone.